Welcome back to the course on Introduction to Solid-State Physics. In the last lecture, we have started our module on electronic band structure of the crystalline solid, and we had taken a simplistic model but which is quite effective in the sense that we are going to solve the one electron Schrodinger equation. The potential is periodic in nature. The potential is caused by all the ions with the core electrons and rest of the other valence electrons. So there is a periodic potential V which is having the periodicity with that of the lattice. Here T is the lattice translational vector. That means with this vector we can go from one unit cell to the other unit cell, and we had seen that the Bloch electrons are the electrons which obey this Schrodinger equation, and the solution to the one electron Schrodinger equation is given by the Bloch theorem, according to which the Bloch wave function is the plane wave solution plus it is modulated by a periodic function. That means this Bloch wave function can be written as, that is psi k r is given as the plane wave solution e to the power I k dot r, and it is modulated by one periodic function which is ukr. This periodic function is having the same periodicity as that of the lattice, and by applying this Bloch theorem, this is what is the Bloch theorem, we got that when we go from one unit cell to the other unit cell, the Bloch wave function is changed only by one phase factor, that is e to the power I k dot t, and for some spatial values of this wave vector k, that means when it is a reciprocal space lattice vector G, this periodicity is maintained. That means psi k r plus t is equal to psi k r for some spatial values of this wave vector G, because we know that exponential I g dot t is equal to 1, so psi k r plus t is equal to psi k r. So it is, the Bloch wave function is periodic if and only if the wave vector k is equal to g. If it is a spatial wave vector for which it is a reciprocal space lattice vector, then the Bloch wave function is periodic in nature. If it is not the case, then there is one extra phase factor, that is e to the power I k dot t. So in general k is not equal to g, but what we can do is that we can always choose another wave vector k prime such that k is equal to k prime plus g, and we can restrict this wave vector k prime in the fast Brillouin zone. We will be discussing in more detail in the coming slides how to construct the fast Brillouin zone for a lattice, but the logic that we are applying here is that instead of taking care of all the values of k, we can restrict the values of k inside the fast Brillouin zone through this relation, that is k is equal to k prime plus g. Remember, in the band structure we are plotting the dispersion relation. For the electron we are plotting a function of energy with respect to k, the wave vector. So the energy axis is given as h cross square k square by 2m, and we are going to impose the periodic potential condition on this particular energy, whereas k can go from minus infinity to plus infinity. So in order to restrict it inside the fast Brillouin zone, that means from minus pi by a to plus pi by a, we are going to take the help of another wave vector k prime such that k equal to k prime plus g, and only in the k axis the k prime vector is restricted to the fast Brillouin zone. And this kind of scheme is called as the reduced zone scheme. We will be discussing in more detail about this in our next lecture. In today's lecture, what we will do is that we will have a brief information about the Brillouin zone, and then we will take some example to show that the k prime vector can always lie in the fast Brillouin zone. So now let us discuss briefly about the fast Brillouin zone or the Brillouin zone, and then we'll come back to this topic. Now when we take this wave vector k prime, then our psi k r plus t is given as e to the power I k prime dot t psi k r. Now we can see that already we are having the relation of psi k r plus t is equal to e to the power I k dot t psi k r. Now when we restrict it into the fast Brillouin zone, when you restrict the wave function inside the fast Brillouin zone with the relation k equal to k prime plus g, then we are getting the same kind of the same Bloch function, e to the power I k prime dot t, here e to the power I k dot t. So there is no unique k for a given Bloch function. So if we compare these two relation, we can see that the Bloch electron wave function do not have any kind of unique k, because both k and k prime they yield the same Bloch wave function, and the relation between k and k prime is k equal to k prime plus g. And as I mentioned, this kind of restricting the wave vector to the fast Brillouin zone is what is called as the reduced zone scheme. So as I mentioned, so let us first discuss about the Brillouin zone, how to construct the fast Brillouin zone or the higher order Brillouin zones little bit, and then we will come to the reduced zone scheme with some example of this restricting the wave vector into the fast Brillouin zone. So Brillouin zone is defined as, it is defined in the reciprocal space, and the fast Brillouin zone is the Wigner side shell about a lattice point in the reciprocal space. If you recall, in the module of crystal structure we have discussed what is the meaning of a Wigner side shell. If I want to construct the Wigner side shell around a given lattice point, I have to cover the area at which it is closest to the same lattice point than any other lattice point. Suppose I am having these points here, lattice points like this. Suppose I am focusing on this particular point, then I have to find out the region surrounding it which is closer to this point than to any other lattice point, and that region is what is called as the Wigner side shell in the real space. Similarly, we are having the lattice points in the reciprocal space, and the Wigner side shell in the reciprocal space is what is called as the fast Brillouin zone. And how to construct the Wigner side shell? If you recall, we have drawn, suppose between this and this I want to find out the point or the region which is closer to this point than to this point, then I have to draw one perpendicular bisector, and this bisector becomes a plane in 3 dimensions. In 2 dimensions it looks like a line, but in 3 dimensions, when you talk about the volume of the reciprocal space, in that case this perpendicular bisector will become a plane, and this bisector in the reciprocal space is what is called as the Bragg plane. So why it is called as the Bragg plane? Because it satisfies the Bragg condition of diffraction, or the Laue condition of diffraction, which is 2 into k dot g plus g dot g is equal to 0. If you recall, this was the one of the condition of diffraction which we were studied in the crystal structure module. This is the condition for diffraction which already we have studied in the crystal structure module, and it was prescribed by Laue. And basically Laue and Bragg condition are the same. That also the similarity between the Laue condition and the Bragg condition we have already verified in our previous lectures. So 2 into k dot g plus g square is equal to 0. So now let us see, if I divide it by 2 here, then this is how this relation looks like. Now let me show it pictorially. So if one of the lattice points in the reciprocal space is at origin and this is the other lattice point, then this vector will be g. G is the reciprocal space lattice vector, and this will be half g, because this is the this red plane which appears as a line here is the perpendicular bisector between this origin and the other lattice point, and this plane is called as the Bragg plane, because any point on this plane which is drawn from this origin lattice point will satisfy the condition of diffraction, the Laue condition of diffraction it will satisfy, and that is why the diffraction maxima can take place for this plane. That's why this perpendicular bisector between any two points in the reciprocal space is called as a Bragg plane. So keeping in mind this concept of Bragg plane, let us try to draw the Brillouin zones in the reciprocal space lattice. Let us, for simplicity, take a square lattice, and remember this is defined in the reciprocal space. And as we discussed, the perpendicular bisector between any two lattice points in the reciprocal space corresponds to a Bragg plane. And what is Wigner side cell? Wigner side cell around a point, if you consider, then we have to cover the region which is closer to this point than to any other lattice points. Keeping these two things in mind, let us construct the Brillouin zones. So first let us focus on the first Brillouin zone. So now let us concentrate on this lattice point in the reciprocal space. So let us look at its neighbors. So between this and these points we can see that, so this is the corresponding line, right? So similarly between this and this point, this is the corresponding line. That means this is the perpendicular bisector, and here these lines are basically the Bragg planes. Similarly between this point and this point, between this point and this point, we can draw all the Bragg planes. So this Bragg plane is between this point and this point. Between this point and this point we are having this Bragg plane. Between this point and this point we are having this Bragg plane. So like this we can draw all the Bragg planes, which are basically the perpendicular bisectors of all the lattice points surrounding this point of focus. Now, so these are the Bragg plane between this point and this point. So now we have taken care of all the neighbors for this lattice points, for this lattice point, and as I mentioned, if we start from this point in all the directions, if I start from this point in all the directions, so the region or the volume up to which I can go without passing any of these Bragg planes, then that particular region is what is called as the first Brillouin zone. So what I am doing here, I have drawn all the perpendicular bisectors around this particular lattice point. So this is the enclosed region which when I am covering, we are not going to cross any of the Bragg planes, and that region is what is called as the fast Brillouin zone. This is the fast Brillouin zone. Now when you go to the higher order Brillouin zones, we have to draw the perpendicular bisectors corresponding to the higher order lattice points, which are designated by the green color. So now to generate or to construct the second order Brillouin zone, what we have to do is that we have to follow the rule that we can cross only one Bragg plane. That means we can go from here up to this, then this Bragg plane is there, we cannot cross it, then this one is there, we cannot cross it. Similarly in this case we can go from here to here, here to here, and then here to here. So we are allowed to cross only one Bragg plane to construct the second Brillouin zone. So this is what is the region. So this red colored region is the region corresponding to the second Brillouin zone. Similarly, to construct the third Brillouin zone, what we can follow the rule is that we can cross two Bragg planes. So already we have crossed one, so now we can enter into this region or this region, this region, this region, this one, similarly this one and this one. So after crossing two Bragg planes, we can enter into the third Brillouin zone. So in this manner we can construct the Brillouin zone in the reciprocal space. So here, since we have taken a squared lattice, that's why the Brillouin zone is also square in nature. So the yellow region is the first Brillouin zone, the red region is the second Brillouin zone, and the violet region is the third Brillouin zone. So as we go to the higher order Brillouin zone, you can see that these zones are being segregated. So if you look at it properly, so this zone is being segregated. Similarly, if you go to still higher order, then again we can see the segregation of the zones. But one thing we should remember is that if you combine these zones, once again they will form a square. So for the first Brillouin zone it is a perfect square, whereas for the second order zone there are four different scattered regions, but if you combine these four regions you can get back another square. Similarly, for the third Brillouin zone there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 scattered regions. If you combine them, again you can get back a square separate structure. Okay, so this is the case in case of 2 dimension, and in case of 3 dimension we know that these regions become volume. These regions will become volume. So this is little bit about the information how to construct the Brillouin zone around a given lattice point and what is the significance of the perpendicular bisectors. Remember this perpendicular bisectors, these bisectors between two lattice points, these are the Bragg planes. So once again let me repeat. To construct the first Brillouin zone, we are not supposed to cross any of this Bragg plane. For the second Brillouin zone, we can cross only one Bragg plane, and for the third Brillouin zone, we can cross any two Bragg plane, and everything we are doing with respect to this particular lattice point. Now, with this information, let us try to take one example how we can bring back any wave vector k inside the first Brillouin zone with this relation, that is k is equal to k prime plus g. So if you recall, in our previous discussion we had imposed this relation to bring back any k vector inside the first Brillouin zone through this relation. Okay, so now let us focus on this particular lattice in the reciprocal space, and let us concentrate on this red lattice point. So the corresponding fast Brillouin zone can be constructed. So let this region represent the fast Brillouin zone. Now let us define any arbitrary wave vector k for this reciprocal space, and this is the origin, and with respect to this origin this vector k is defined. Now let us bring this vector k inside the fast Brillouin zone. So for that we have to take the help of a reciprocal space that is vector g, and in this case we can take the lattice vector g in this manner. So this is a, this is b. So if I move 2 steps along the b direction and 2 steps along the a direction, then I can generate this vector g in this case. And remember, the relation is k is equal to k prime plus g. So through ordinary vector addition, the vector k prime can be represented by this. Now we can draw one parallel vector for this, and we can bring it back into the fast Brillouin zone. So this is the parallel vector for this k prime. So both are having the same magnitude, both are having the same direction. Basically they represent the same vector. So now with the help of this k prime vector, we are able to bring back this vector k into the fast Brillouin zone. But this k prime vector is not unique only for this vector k. We can have any other vector, like here we have taken the vector k1. This is not a reciprocal space lattice vector, because this is not connecting the lattice points in the reciprocal space, and this k1 vector can also be given by, can also be switched back into the fast Brillouin zone with the help of this relation. So here we have to take the help of this reciprocal space lattice vector g, which is defined here as minus b, and once again this k1 will be equal to k prime plus g from the vector addition. And now this k prime vector can be brought back into the fast Brillouin zone, because k prime and this k prime are the same, both are having the same magnitude and both are having the same direction. So this k prime vector is not only associated with this k vector, it is also associated with this k1 vector. So in this way there can be many k vectors for which we can relate the k prime vector defined in the fast Brillouin zone. So basically our task will be to obtain the number of k prime vectors defined in the fast Brillouin zone. If you want to draw the band structure in the reduced zone scheme, I should be knowing how many number of k prime vectors are there in the fast Brillouin zone, because for any k we can always find an equivalent k prime such that this relation is satisfied. And once this relation is satisfied, we know that we can bring back the band structure confined into the fast Brillouin zone. That is what is called as the reduced zone scheme. But we should remember that we are only reducing the Brillouin zone. We are not changing the energy values. Energy is not h cross square k prime square by 2m. Energy still remains as h cross square k square by 2m, or in this case it will be h cross square k1 square by 2m. Only we are playing with the wave vector axis, that is the x axis. The energy axis, we are going to take the original value of the wave vector, the magnitude of the original value of the wave vector we are going to consider. So our next task will be to find out the number of k states or the number of k vectors inside the fast Brillouin zone. Then only we can draw the electronic band structure in the reduced zone scheme. So this task we will be doing it in our next lecture. Thank you.